Entrepreneurial Edge is brought to you by Business Banking from FNB, because small ideas can lead to big business. FNB, how can we help you?
A very warm welcome to the Entrepreneurial Edge. I'm Chris Bishop. Now, often a brilliant entrepreneurial idea springs from a very simple realization. Why rely on people to come to your business to buy what they want? Why not make it easier by taking your goods to them? So why not put a pizza on a motorbike to your front door? Now, this simple idea has made entrepreneur Carlo Gonzaga a fortune. It wasn't easy, but this idea, as simple as a margarita pizza, brought in the big investors. Let's take a look at what makes the business tick.
The Taste Holdings was really started by entrepreneurial family, Luigi and Carlo, which opened the first scooters in Durban in 2000, September 2000, and the business has grown from there. Through various stages, today or after the end of February, we'll have over 500 outlets with a number of other brands that we've added. The business has grown over the years, not through scooters, which was the founder brand as such. After scooters, the Maxis was acquired, and in 2005, and then they acquired NWJ in 2008, and St. Elmo's Pizza in 2010, I think. And yes, so we've grown the business through acquisition, and our most recent acquisition that we've concluded is a fish and chip company, which becomes part of this group from effect 1st of February 2012. Our main business is franchising. We sell a business module and a formula to people that want to run their own businesses. Sometimes find it difficult to do it on their own, don't have the expertise. So they've got people backing them from a marketing point of view, operational standards, product development, and eventually you become part of a bigger family. It's business is tough out there, so you don't operate on your own. The other franchisees become like your colleagues, and we strive towards building that type of relationship with people buying into our brands. Currently operating outside of South Africa, in Namibia and Zimbabwe, successfully. Our focus, because it's a fairly young brand, over the past 10 years, has been to grow our business in South Africa. I think we're now ready to take it outside, and we're actually attending a franchise expo in Kenya towards the end of March, which we will take all our brands and show it to Africa and people that would be interested in running their own businesses. I think Carlo's vision for the group inspires us because it's driven by his passion for Taste Holdings and the energy, and a very approachable person. So I think if for the group, people are clear what his aspirations and goals are for the group, and extremely easy person, I think, to work with and share your ideas and strategies with as well. So he's quite open-minded.
Now, in the studio with me, I have the CEO of Taste Holdings, Carlo Gonzaga. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Edge. So, yourself, your father came to this country from Italy, and you followed him all over the continent. That's your kind of background. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, well, my dad, I think like many Italians, he came to Africa I think it was actually to hunt, to be honest, but ended up being involved in a lot of civil engineering, building bridges and roads and that type of thing. So I was lucky enough, lived in Swaziland for quite some time, spent some time in Central Africa and Kenya and in Somalia. So yeah, I've been around a bit. How
do you think that shaped you as a young person? You know, going to this very varied backgrounds that you had.
Well, I suppose you're a product of your background. So you know, living in Somalia, I think was great. And of course, as a boy though, to grow up in construction compounds is a dream come true. Big yellow trucks. I mean, you know, fantastic stuff.
And would you say you had an entrepreneurial sort of background when you were growing up?
You know, I get asked that fairly often, and I think I probably did now if I look back, because I was always given the opportunity and probably encouraged by my folks to always do things that where there was, you know, some kind of reward for effort, if you will. So whether it was disassembling 2-stroke engines when I was 12, I think I negotiated about $2 an hour then was my hourly wage. and reassembling them. To this day, I'm not quite sure why I did. All the way to when I was in law school, I ran a bar at the law school. So I've certainly, if I look back, done a lot of things that were entrepreneurial, where I was sort of master of my own destiny to some degree.
Now, you mentioned law school there. You wanted to be a lawyer when you were growing up, but you once said to me that running the bar changed your mind. How did it change the course of your life, you think?
Yeah, well, I was on the Law Students' Council, and one of the functions I had was fundraising. So I thought, what better way at varsity to raise funds than have a bar? Turned out to be exactly spot on. But yeah, so I spent 2 years in hospitality, and I worked in other bars. And I think it was my experience in hospitality that when my dad bought the first franchised outlet of pizza, when I helped him out, that I thought, this is what I really enjoy. So it was probably my background in hospitality that really got me interested to a point where I said to my dad, listen, you've got this one store, sell me a share. Fund my share, by the way, because I didn't have any money then. And that's really where it started.
How do the pizza customers, I mean, you went working from a bar straight to work to a pizza place. How do the customers vary, you think? Because it can often be quite rough working in a bar. I've done it only once, never again.
No, look, it's very different. But, when we started in pizza back, which was 14 years ago, even then consumers are very different to what they are now. Pizza was very much seen as an aspirational purchase. It was quite expensive relative to other fast foods. And consumers have very much changed, even within that space. In the last 3 years, to be honest, we've seen a huge shift in consumer demographics in our stores.
Now, a lot of people would have said to you, look, you could be a lawyer, you could be up there, and here you are running around with pizzas. Why do you think that was?
At the end of the day, I think if I look back on my history, I wouldn't change having done a law degree for anything, to be honest. So, what a law degree taught me a sense of fairness, a sense of justice. It teaches you, I think, how to communicate with people, which in any business is pretty fundamental, I think. So, did I use it directly? Clearly not. But did it prepare me in a way that not many people get? I certainly think it did. And certainly when it comes to dealing with people, which ultimately is all the business is about.
Did you ever sit there, though, in the early days thinking, I wish I was drawing up a deposition, I wish I was drawing up papers in a legal office rather than what I'm doing?
Look, all I really wanted to do, to be quite honest, I think from watching too much television was, wave my hands, my fist in the air and slam them on the desk and go, I object. But I certainly haven't missed it. I'm exposed to a lot of legal framework within what we do. With agreements and negotiating and that type of thing. So in that respect it's helped me because I do have an understanding of it. But no, I certainly don't miss the fact of drafting and certainly not involved in legal proceedings per se.
Now here you are, you're a young man, you've got a few shares in your dad's pizza venture. What was the next step?
Well, the first one was to, we had one store and with a considerable amount of luck and probably hard work, we got to 4 stores, and along the way made a lot of mistakes. Probably one of the best lessons I had was to have a mentor like my dad who gave me enough rope, the old saying, just enough not to hang myself, but enough to go and explore my surroundings. And so I made a lot of mistakes, quite a few of them costly, but in the end, when I sold my shares in that business, I sat around saying, well, what else can I do? And certainly the one thing that I thought I knew was how to get pizza to people's doors.
And what was the most expensive mistake you think you made?
Well, I'm still making them.
Back then in your early days?
Back then. Look, there were a couple. I mean, during our time, and like any business, we managed to run out of cash twice in the first 4 years of scooters. So those were pretty problematic, and that was just from a franchisee that didn't pay us, and we were a bit too exuberant we weren't collecting money quickly enough. It's an odd recurring theme in business that, but we weren't collecting money, and that was a few million rand. But by and large, I think we encourage guys to look to try new things, and with that comes mistakes. And it's not so much the financial value; it's whether you learn anything from them.
And you mentioned your father there. I mean, how difficult can it be sometimes? A lot of business people out there to work with your father.
It's odd, and we both, because obviously we're Italian, we speak like we're Italian, and we get quite excited and we get quite emotional about things. And guys that first come into and get to work with our group, they sort of stand back and they go, "Oh, this is a bit emotional. I wonder if are they never going to talk to each other again?" We get on well because I think we understand where we add value. So I don't try and do my dad's job, and he doesn't try and do mine. And I think that that's probably how we've survived. We've been working together for 14 years now. So it's probably mutual respect that's saved us, I suppose.
Were there ever any walkouts that I'm never coming back conversations? Or?
2, actually.
2, okay.
2. And I mean, they're very clear in my head because they're fairly cataclysmic, you can imagine.
How many days did each of them last? Come on, tell us more.
Probably about a week, which I've got to tell you in our family is a long time. Because normally we shout, we scream, we throw things around, and then afterwards we go have a beer.
What was it about? Come on.
No, it was about business and different views on how to. I mean, I can't remember the specifics, but both of them were about business.
Now, your father, he's still involved with Taste Holdings, which is now the parent company, and you've got several brands there. Yeah. Your own brand was Scooter Pizzas, which you mentioned in the intro, of actually this idea. When you started it out all those years ago, and was it a fairly new thing, this delivery?
Yeah, it was. At the time, which is now our biggest competitor, Debonair's Pizza, it sort of pioneered delivery to some degree. And, we just thought, like many entrepreneurs, you just think you can make a better mousetrap. So we thought we could deliver faster, we could deliver better, and we could deliver hotter. And that was really our business, hot, tasty, fast. And so it was really off that very simple idea that the whole thing started.
And how new was it when you guys got started doing it?
I don't think it was new. What we came out with was that we sort of really put our money where our mouth was around delivery, and we said, it's 39 minutes or your order free. So we said, we believe we can do this, and if we don't get it there, we are so convinced we'll give you a whole order to you for free. And believe it or not, that one little thing about all free is what we built our business on in the first 5 years.
And was there ever a bad patch where perhaps you were giving away tons of pizzas for free?
Yeah, certainly at individual store level. But even then, I think at its worst, we were doing about 1% of our deliveries were for free. In fact, we often found it was the best marketing was to give away a few pizzas, a few free ones every now and then.
I mean, that's true. I mean, a lot of businesses worry about these things, but actually giving somebody something and saying, there you are, it's on the house, it's vastly underrated. Yeah. But, okay, well, we'll talk a lot more about your business in the second half. In particular, I want to talk about your long-distance deliveries, which, more of that in the second half.